Let me take you today to a house in North India many, many years ago. On the screen, a glamorous woman in a beautiful dress took a big bite of a rich, dark chocolate bar. She closed her eyes, a look of bliss washing over her face. To 6-year-old Bucky watching from the floor, it looked like a bite of heaven itself. He was practically vibrating with energy, inching closer and closer to the glowing screen. Bucky leaped up, pointing wildly at the glass tube of the TV, drawing his brother's attention. He insisted that they had to try this dark chocolate. Lucky, always the shrewd businessman of the house, saw a golden opportunity. Knowing fully well that Bucky wasn't allowed to walk to the corner shop alone, Lucky made a sly, calculated offer. He would brave the scorching afternoon heat on two very firm conditions. First, Bucky had to pay 50 rupees, and second, they split the dark chocolate 50-50. It was a terribly steep price. With a heavy heart but eager eyes, Bucky smashed open his beloved clay piggy bank and handed over a crisp 50-rupee note to his brother, while sternly reminding him, "Don't forget the deal. 50% of dark chocolate is mine." For the next 20 minutes, Bucky waited impatiently. Finally, the latch clicked. Lucky stepped inside, triumphantly holding the prized foil-wrapped bar. Bucky jumped with absolute joy, reaching out with greedy little hands. But Lucky stepped back. "Patience, little brother," he whispered. "Dark chocolate is best enjoyed in a completely dark room." Trusting his older brother completely, Bucky allowed himself to be led down the hall and into the windowless storeroom, surrounded by heaps of old newspapers. "Keep your eyes tightly closed," Lucky commanded. Then, with the swift move, Lucky stepped out, flipped the light switch off, and pulled the heavy wooden door firmly shut. Standing alone in the pitch black, Bucky blinked into the void, thoroughly confused. Then, from the brightly lit hallway, Lucky's muffled, laughing voice echoed through the wood. "Hey, we agreed to split dark chocolate 50-50, so you get the dark and I get the chocolate." Bucky gasped. Betrayal! He banged his little fists against the door, shouting into the darkness that he had been cheated. Out in the hallway, Lucky was grinning ear to ear. The full chocolate bar was his. But then he paused. From the other side of the door came a soft, pitiful sniffle. His mischievous older brother exterior instantly melted into a puddle of guilt. He quickly pushed the door open. Hey, it was just a prank," he said gently. Bucky scrubbed a tear from his cheek, his sadness replaced by a wide, excited grin. Reunited and ready for the grand feast, the brothers triumphantly snapped the thick bar in half. They took massive, greedy bites. Twist, twist, twist. Exactly for 3 seconds they chewed in hopeful silence. Then the true flavor hit their tongues. Their eyes widened in pure horror. In perfect synchronized motion, they leaned over and spat it right out onto the floor. Lucky picked up the wrapper from the floor and inspected what was written on the back. 99% cocoa, unsweetened. It wasn't magic, it was mud. Bitter, chalky mud. A chocolate bar meant to be used for baking, not for direct consumption. They stared at each other in complete disbelief. Then the sheer, ridiculous silliness of the whole grand adventure finally caught up to them. Within seconds, they were laughing madly, clutching their stomachs. As their laughter finally slowed to happy sighs, Lucky felt something in his pocket. He pulled out the remaining 5-rupee coin from the shopkeeper's change. He suggested to Bucky that they can use these 5 rupees to buy the delicious, tried and tested chocolate eclairs candy. This suggestion made Bucky's face shine like the sun. He started daydreaming about the eclairs candy and his mouth watered. Hand in hand, the brothers walked cheerfully down the sunlit street. Sure, Lucky would probably try to trick his little brother out of his pocket money again tomorrow, and Bucky would undoubtedly find a new way to annoy him right back. That was simply the rule of brotherhood.